Okay, ever catch yourself clenching your jaw? Like, just completely clamped shut, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's the only thing between you and utter chaos.
I know the feeling.
You're not alone.
Not at all.
But get this, the reason behind that clench, it might actually surprise you. That's what we're diving deep into today.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because, we often just blame jaw tension on stress.
Right.
Which it can be, but it's like a dashboard warning light. It could mean a lot of different things are going on.
We're talking way more than stress here.
Yeah.
You sent over some articles about this, about what causes a tight jaw.
Yeah.
And my mind was blown, honestly.
Really?
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
We're going to cover everything from like hitter posture problems to even arthritis.
Yeah. That's right. We're going to unpack all of that.
Arthritis.
But, let's start with the usual suspect.
Okay.
Stress.
Right.
Because let's face it, most of us, we kind of have this love-hate relationship with stress.
Who isn't stressed? I mean, really.
Exactly. And you mentioned, feeling stressed lately. And honestly, your jaw, it might be picking up on that too. It's like your body's own little stress messenger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we get stressed out, our bodies, they go into that fight or flight mode.
Right.
And they start releasing all these hormones like adrenaline, right?
Right.
And in a real emergency, that's super helpful, right? But when we're dealing with chronic stress, our bodies are basically stuck on high alert all the time. And you know what? Those tense muscles, especially in the jaw, they pay the price.
So my jaw is basically the unsung hero of my daily stress marathon.
In a way, yeah. And sometimes that stress response, it can even lead to this thing called bruxism, which is the official fancy term for clenching or grinding your teeth.
Ah, bruxism. I've heard of that. But isn't that mostly a nighttime thing?
It often is. A lot of people don't even realize they're doing it in their sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those jaw muscles are putting in overtime even when you're trying to catch those Z's. But here's the thing, even if you know you don't grind your teeth, you can still have a tight jaw.
Okay, so what gives? If it's not always stress or like those nighttime teeth grinding sessions, what else is going on?
Well, those jaw muscles we talked about, they wear a lot of hats, right? And chewing is a big one.
Wait, are you saying that like my daily gum chewing habit could be the culprit?
You'd be surprised. Even something as, like, seemingly harmless as gum can really tire out your jaw muscles if you overdo it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Think about it. It's basically like a mini workout for your jaw all day long. And it's not just gum. It's, tough foods, chewing on pens, even biting your nails.
Right.
All those things contribute.
Okay, so basically, give your jaw muscles a break.
Exactly.
Got it. No more marathon chewing sessions.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of jaw muscles, we can't forget about TMJ disorders.
TMJ, it sounds kind of like official.
It does, right.
A little mysterious. What is that exactly?
It stands for temporomandibular joint, and it basically connects your jawbone to your skull. You actually have two of them, one on each side, and they're involved in, well, pretty much everything we do with our jaw. Talking, chewing, yawning, you name it.
So these TMJ things are like the VIPs of jaw movement.
Pretty much. But when they're not working correctly, that's when you get a TMJ disorder, which is kind of an umbrella term for a range of conditions that can affect those joints or the muscles that control them.
And a tight jaw is one of the ways that this disorder kind of makes itself known.
Precisely. You might also notice things like, pain, clicking, or popping sounds when you move your jaw, or even trouble opening your mouth really wide.
Oh, wow.
And guess what?
What?
Stress can play a role here too.
It always comes back to stress.
It's like the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Right. So we've got stress, we've got overworked jaw muscles from all that chewing. Hit me with something even more unexpected.
Okay, get ready for this one. Arthritis.
Arthritis.
Yes, arthritis can actually affect your jaw.
What? I thought arthritis was all about, like, creaky knees and stiff fingers. Jaws, too.
It's one of those things people don't expect. But just like with other joints, the cartilage in your jaw can wear down over time, and when it does, you can experience pain, stiffness, and you guessed it, tightness.
So that nagging jaw pain, it might not just be stress. It could actually be arthritis, kind of like throwing a wrench in the works.
Exactly. And it's actually more common than you think, especially as we get older.
This is blowing my mind. Who knew our jaws were so complex? But before we dive into what we can do about all of this, there's one more culprit I want to talk about. Posture. Now, you're probably thinking, what does my posture have to do with my jaw?
It's a great question.
Trust me, it's all connected.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's super overlooked.
Okay, so for everyone listening, imagine this. You're hunched over your computer, shoulders are rounded, neck craned forward, probably scrolling through the comments on our latest deep dive.
I've been there.
You know.
Yes, absolutely.
But here's the thing. That posture, recipe for jaw tension.
Big time. It creates this chain reaction throughout your whole upper body. That forward head posture puts strain on your neck, which then travels up to your jaw, causing those muscles to clench.
So even if I'm like a total Zen master who only eats soup and never chews gum, my Netflix binging posture could still be messing with my jaw.
It's definitely possible. Our bodies are amazing, but they're also incredibly interconnected. And sometimes the root of a problem might really surprise you.
Wild. All right, so we've covered a lot. Stress, chewing habits, TMJ disorders, even arthritis and posture.
Yeah.
Who knew jaw tension was so complicated?
Right. It's amazing how something we just dismiss as, like, a minor annoyance can actually be a sign of something more going on.
Yeah, which brings us to a really important question. How do we know when it's time to actually worry?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are there any red flags that it's more than just a tight jaw and you need to see a doctor? Like yesterday.
Totally, yeah. While occasional jaw tension is completely normal, there are definitely some warning signs to watch out for.
Okay, lay it on me. What should we be looking for?
So first and foremost, severe persistent pain. And I'm not talking about just a little tenderness after like a long day.
Right.
I'm talking about pain that's really disrupting your life, making it hard
Yeah.
to eat, talk, sleep, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. That definitely sounds like a sign that something's off.
Yeah, for sure. Other red flags include any fever along with that jaw tension, visible changes in your jaw, like swelling or one side looking different than the other,
Oh, wow.
difficulty swallowing, or a feeling that your jaw is locking or catching when you open and close your mouth.
Locking or catching, that sounds kind of scary.
It can be a sign of a more serious problem with the TMJ, so it's definitely not something to ignore.
Okay, so those are the call your doctor scenarios. But what about for those times when it's not like a full-blown emergency, but, we're still dealing with jaw tension? What are some things that we can do at home to kind of loosen things up?
Well, I think we have to address the elephant in the room, which is stress.
Easier said than done.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But, finding healthy ways to manage stress is huge. Think like meditation, depth breathing exercises, yoga, anything that helps you unwind and de-stress.
Right. It's good to be reminded that taking care of our mental health is just as important as our physical health.
100%. And then in terms of like more targeted relief, that article you shared had some really great home remedies listed.
Yeah, I was curious about the whole like heat versus ice thing. What's the deal with that?
So it's all about choosing the right tool for the job. Heat is fantastic for muscle tension.
Okay.
A warm compress or even just like a hot bath can work wonders to relax those jaw muscles and increase blood flow to the area, which helps with healing. Ice, on the other hand, that's your best bet for reducing inflammation, especially if you think there might be some swelling in the TMJ.
Okay, so heat for relaxing, ice for the swelling. Got it.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of gentle massage either.
Wait, like massaging your own jaw?
Yeah, it might sound too simple, but it can be surprisingly effective.
Okay.
Just using your fingertips, apply gentle circular motions to your jaw muscles, focusing on any spots that feel particularly tight or tender. You can even incorporate some gentle stretches, like slowly opening and closing your mouth, moving your jaw side to side.
So basically like treating our jaw muscles to a little spa day at home.
Exactly. And remember how we talked about overworking those jaw muscles with too much chewing?
Yeah.
Well, what we eat plays a big role here too. Avoiding those tough, chewy foods, think steak, bagels, anything that feels like a workout for your jaw, that can give those muscles a much-needed break.
So I guess I'll be ordering the soup instead of the steak next time.
Smart move. Soft foods are definitely your best friend when your jaw is feeling tight. Things like soups, yogurt, smoothies, and, as we mentioned earlier, cut back on the gum chewing.
Man, no more marathon gum chewing sessions for me.
Oh.
Fine by me, I guess.
What about staying hydrated? I know that's, always important, but does it actually help with jaw tension specifically?
Absolutely. Dehydration can actually lead to muscle cramps, and those jaw muscles are no exception. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day.
So we've got our stress-busting techniques,
Right.
our jaw-friendly snacks,
Yeah.
our ice packs, at the ready.
Right.
But when do we actually know when to call in the professionals? Like, when is it time?
Well, that's where those red flags we talked about earlier really come in.
That severe pain, jaw locking, the trouble swallowing. If you're experiencing any of those,
Yeah.
it's time to pick up the phone and make that appointment.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what about those of us who are like somewhere in the middle? We're trying the home remedies.
Yeah.
Maybe they're helping a little bit, but that tension, it just keeps coming back.
Right.
Is it worth, seeking professional help, even if it's not like a five-alarm fire?
Definitely. Sometimes those home remedies are enough to kind of break the cycle.
Right.
But if your jaw tension is chronic, it's like, that bad house guest that just won't leave.
Right.
It's worth talking to your dentist or your doctor. They can help you figure out what's really going on
Okay.
and come up with a more personalized game plan.
So what can they offer that, we can't get from a heating pad and
Right.
our Netflix binge?
Well, I mean, for starters, they can really help pinpoint the root cause,
Right.
which is a huge piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
They might recommend physical therapy,
Hmm.
which can be a game changer for jaw issues.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's not just about strengthening those muscles. It's also about improving mobility,
Okay.
range of motion, all that good stuff.
Physical therapy for your jaw. I had no idea that was even a thing.
Oh, it's definitely a thing, and it can be incredibly effective. And then, depending on what's going on, they might also suggest things like custom-fitted mouth guards, especially if bruxism is a factor.
Ah, so it's like a little suit of armor for your teeth, basically,
All right.
protecting them from all that grinding.
Exactly. It helps cushion those teeth and gives those overworked jaw muscles a much-needed break, especially at night. Now, in very rare cases, surgery might be an option, but honestly, that's usually the last resort if all other treatments have been exhausted.
Okay, so the key takeaway here is
Yeah,
listen to your body. If something feels off, don't ignore it.
100%.
Try those home remedies.
Yes.
But don't hesitate to reach out to a professional if you're concerned or if things just aren't getting any better.
Early intervention is key. What
Mhm.
starts as a little tightness can turn into a much bigger issue if we ignore it.
Right.
Think of it this way. Taking care of your jaw now is an investment in a future of, pain-free chewing, talking,
Right.
and even yawning.
And who doesn't love a good yawn?
Yes.
This has been seriously eye-opening. I mean, we went from stress and gum chewing to arthritis and posture. It's crazy how interconnected our bodies are.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that those little aches and pains our bodies send us,
Yeah.
they're actually really important messages, and it's up to us to listen.
I love that. Could
Yeah.
not have said it better myself. And for everyone listening, if this deep dive resonated with you, maybe you figured out why your jaw feels like it's in a constant arm wrestling match.
Right.
Head over to our social media and tell us about it. Until next time, keep those jaws relaxed and those minds engaged.